Hello, and thank you for joining us. My name is Teresa Agonia, and I currently serve as the Vice President of the Roger Williams University Alumni Board. I am joined today with Meghan, who is from the class of 2006. And today we're just gonna learn a little bit more about Meghan, her experience at Roger Williams. So thank you so much for being here, Meghan. Do you wanna just start and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. As you mentioned, I graduated Roger Williams in 2006 as a communications journalism major. I actually initially went to Roger Williams to become a marine biologist and quickly realized that I was really bad at math and decided to explore an option that did not involve any further math. So I went and I actually ended up graduating as the top journalism student when I was there. And I have since gone on to work in various different marketing and public relations roles and communications roles throughout my career. And I currently own a full service marketing and public relations firm, in addition to being a professor at two colleges and universities.
So you obviously have no free time.
It is very limited.
And I apologize if I missed this, but where are you based out of now in your work?
Yeah, so I'm in Western Massachusetts, but my company is all over. So I like to say we're a regional company, but we actually have clients in Miami and California and all over. So, but I physically am located in Western Massachusetts.
Wow. Well, and now with this pandemic over the last year, we've learned so much about virtual work and working from home. So has that allowed you to grow your business, or how has that impacted you?
Yeah, my team is actually Boston and New York and Rhode Island as well. So it's funny because we've all been working remotely well before the pandemic. I don't have a brick and mortar office that people report into. So I definitely last year was, I guess it was an adjustment in some ways. It was, we couldn't host our events, we couldn't do our networking things that we had done in the past. But it allowed us to absolutely expand because people realized how much they needed a digital presence, how much they needed websites and social media and all of that important stuff. And a lot of our clients didn't really have like a great website that they loved or a social strategy. So we actually, in the middle of a pandemic, had our most successful year yet last year.
That's great.
Yeah.
And has it been challenging? I'm in a communications role, and I can certainly see the challenge of breaking through the noise if you're not speaking about something COVID related. Have you been experiencing that with your clients, or how have you worked to address that?
Yeah, I think the first few months were really hard for people to talk about anything other than COVID. I think that even the first 6 months, if you weren't addressing what was going on, if you weren't talking about your safety protocols or how your company was pivoting for the pandemic, it was white noise. And now I think so many people have adapted to bring virtual lessons or do takeout or eat outdoors or there's so many ways that companies have really modified what they do that now we're able to blend those messages in. So it's still important to talk about updates on protocol and processes and things like that, especially if you're someone who's really heavily impacted. But we're able to get back a little bit to regularly scheduled programming lately, which is great. It's a good sign.
That's great. And I'm sure that's a good opportunity for your clients too, to just, get back to some normalcy if
Yeah,
possible.
for sure. I think it's good for everybody's mental state and,
Yeah.
it's what we all need.
Yeah. Is there any experience that you can think of that happened at Roger Williams that you take with you in your current role, whether that was, I don't know, an extracurricular club that you participated in, a professor who gave you a piece of advice that you still use, anything from campus that you still hold with you?
Oh, there's so much. I come back to campus at least once or twice a year. Roger Williams holds such a special place in my heart. I just have such fond memories. Ted Delaney is a professor that I still continue to talk to. I'm actually speaking to one of his classes next month. He's someone I've stayed in touch with, and he really was my mentor when I was there. I think he really helped me kind of hone in on what I wanted to do and really perfect, well, not perfect, but have excellent communication skills. So he is one that stands out. And I would also say I was very involved in extracurricular activities. I was the president of the chorus. Don't ask me to sing because I can't really, like, I don't know what I was thinking, but I love singing, even though I'm not so good at it. But I also was on air at on the radio station as well. And I think all of those activities I remember a lot more than classes. I know faculty members might be like, don't say that, but my classes were not as memorable as the things I did outside of the classroom. Obviously, all of it was important, but I think that my experience there really, really helped me evolve into the person that I am. And I always say to students, especially Roger Williams students, like, I did not appreciate what I had being in college and being so carefree and being right on the water. Like, you go to a hotel room with that view, you're paying $500 a night at Retro, like it's crazy what we had, and having that beautiful little town in Bristol right there with all those great restaurants. Take advantage of every opportunity and like bask in it, because it's a really great experience.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, Bristol is just such a special place, and campus is so beautiful for anyone thinking about coming to Roger Williams. That campus is, it can sell itself.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's whenever I go back there, my husband and I will, go take a trip, and he just kind of like looks in awe. He didn't have the same college experience that I did, and he never lived on campus where he went, and he just doesn't, he's like, I can't believe you got to live here for 4 years. It's absolutely gorgeous. And my parents used to say that to me, and I kind of roll my eyes at them. But now I can appreciate just how amazing of a campus and my whole educational experience was.
Did you have any internships while you were at Roger Williams? And I wonder, as a comms major, I certainly feel like internships are your step in the door. Like, how did that impact you in particular for your major?
Yeah, so I did. I think it was required of our major to at least have one. So I ended up having two, if not three internships, I think. Um, and I worked for a newspaper. My internship was, it was like I don't even know how to phrase this in a nice way. It was like the little stuff. Like, I had to update little listings and stuff. So I wasn't really getting into the meatiness of writing. And so, but that experience of working for a newspaper allowed me to actually get a part-time job as a freelancer for Newport Daily News. So I was able to, and also the Mercury, I worked for the Mercury as well. And that was huge because it allowed me to, again, continue working on my writing skills, my communication skills. So that was a big part of it. And then I actually did an internship for a software company, writing their e-news and handling their marketing. And even though I majored in communications, I really, like, a lot of the skill set crossed over to marketing. And I sort of realized that I really enjoyed marketing. But in order to be an effective marketer, you have to be an effective communicator. So I think all of my internships taught me what I wanted to do, what I didn't want to do, and allowed me to work on those skills, those real life skills.
That's great. If there's a student out there right now listening to this interview and they're thinking about pursuing marketing, communications, what is one or even two pieces of advice you would give to them?
So if you want to work in the marketing and communications field, I would tell you right now, you have to be willing to talk to people you don't know. You have to be willing to pick up the phone. Scary, I know, but that's a form of communication tool that's still utilized. You have to be comfortable in a group where you're just walking up to someone who you've never met and introducing yourself. Networking, networking, networking. I cannot stress that enough. The reason why my company has done so well and we've been so successful is because I spent a decade building this strong spider web network all over New England. And we have done, with the exception of having a really strong social media presence, we have done no external marketing efforts. We've sponsored things and we've done little things here and there. But a lot of what we get from inbound prospects comes to us through my network, through people that I've met. So I think, get ready to be a lifelong learner, because with everything that happens with social media, it changes so rapidly. So prepare yourself to continue learning. And if you're an introvert, you might want to work on your extrovert skills a little bit, because you're going to need them in this field.
Such valid points, and I definitely feel that in my day to day as well here, working for the city of Providence. It's so critical.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, especially in that field, you have to talk with a lot of people on a
Yeah.
regular basis.
Yeah. So the alumni network expands literally globally from Roger Williams University. And I'm wondering, is there someone from your class or just from Roger Williams that you still connect with that maybe is your mentor? Or, I'm just wondering if you can talk a bit about an experience with another Roger Williams alum in particular.
Oh gosh. Well, I am still very close to my my three best friends that I had when I was on campus. So I'm not sure that they were mentors. I think we were more, we were just besties. And we're still besties today. Like I was just talking to them yesterday, one of them yesterday. So we still plan a girls' trip every year. Which is really something that you have to work at. You have to work at maintaining your college relationships because I think it's easy to graduate and sort of go on with your life and not make time to continue to maintain those connections. But my three best friends from college are still my three best friends today. And we are actually planning a time to come back to Roger Williams in the fall. So I'm already like thinking of where we're going to stay and where we're going to eat and all this exciting stuff because I think it's going to be a great blast from the past. So definitely maintain those relationships.
Oh, that's so awesome and exciting.
I
What
know.
do
I'm
you
pumped about
what do
it.
you as alum, what do you guys do when you come back to campus, or what do you look for to kind of like relive that experience?
Yeah, so Bristol Bagel Works, it's a must. You got to stop there because we spent many a Saturday and Sunday morning going to BB Dubs. So definitely that'll be a stop on the list. Guillory's isn't there anymore, right?
No, I think it is still
They-
there. It might have a different name now. Finn,
Okay.
Gills,
Eating
something.
Pub, the Bean,
Yeah.
like we're gonna hit all those, I'm sure. Just being in downtown Bristol, being able to be on campus. And we used to go into Newport a lot. We used to go into Providence a lot. It's just like even just being in the town of Bristol is so much fun. I try to, like I said, I try to get down once or twice a year. I always stay. I can't remember the name of it, but the Bristol Harbor Inn down there, and I go to DeWolf Tavern for dinner and just like again, I just can't stress how much I wish I had opened my eyes a little bit more when I was there and realized the amazing town that I had. And, it's not a city, but you got Providence 20 minutes away, but you've got little boutiques and restaurants and bars and that, the Colt State Park will probably hit that up. So many good memories.
Yeah. And, shameless plug as someone who works for the city of Providence, the city of Providence is always welcoming. So
I
just,
love
come down to Providence.
I'm in Providence, but pre-pandemic, I'd be in Providence once a month for business, and I have been itching to get back there. I'm like, I got to get back to Rhode Island. I absolutely love the state, and I love
And
the city
it's
of Providence.
it's so easy to get to Providence from Bristol and
It is.
even to Newport. I mean, with the bus line, and it's just such a drivable, it's a short
Yeah,
drive to Newport, Providence. That's one of the perks of Bristol as well.
yeah, it's in the middle of everything. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So certainly graduation is a special moment and a memory for everyone. Do you have any other really special memory from your time at Roger Williams?
Oh my gosh, I think not to toot my own horn, but I think winning the best journalism student of 2006 was probably like one of my proudest moments because I will tell you, I did not have the best grades in high school. Like I don't know why, but I was just like, I didn't really try. Like I didn't apply myself. And I came to Roger Williams and I thought to myself, okay, this is like the step before adulting. So maybe try. And I ended up graduating magna cum laude and I ended up with that award. And I think when that was announced, I still remember sitting in the classroom, like in the lecture hall and that being announced. And I was so taken aback because I was like, me? But I had cancer when I was a sophomore at Roger Williams and
Wow.
I turned it into a writing opportunity. And I was on the cover of the Mercury. I told this whole story about how I had survived cancer. And again, I think just like that whole experience and then being acknowledged for sharing such a personal story with that award, because I think it was one of the biggest reasons why I won the award, because I really did like share a very personal story. it was really my proudest moment, and I'll never forget it.
Wow. Well, I'm certainly sorry you went through that experience, but what an amazing opportunity to turn that into a positive.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, everything happens for a reason. It really did end up sort of catapulting me into a career. I worked for the Melanoma Foundation for years. I was on the board of directors. I was a spokesperson for the American Academy of Dermatology and the Skin Cancer Foundation. So everything happens for a reason, in my opinion.
Yeah. Amen to that.
Yeah.
So, we set up this interview today. You're sharing some of your experience. So it's obviously, I guess I'm doing a shameless plug. It's so easy to engage with alum and students on campus. You mentioned, you're meeting with a classroom next week with a professor. Can you talk a bit about how you still stay engaged and, just a bit about the importance of connecting with students as a graduate?
Yeah, I think that's so important. One of my team members at Chick Media, my company, is a Roger Williams graduate who interned for me. I used to come back pre-pandemic twice a year and speak. I would speak to the business fraternity on campus. I would speak to Ted Delaney's classes. I would speak to, I think I spoke to PRSSA. I'm so always willing to come back and just talk about my experience. And honestly, like if you're an alumni watching this and you haven't had a professor that you connected with, or you haven't talked to someone in a while, just pick up the phone and call the dean. Call the dean of the department and say, hey, do you need alumni speakers? They go nuts for it. And I have had so many rewarding conversations with students. And I actually two, I'm just realizing two of my team members are Roger Williams alum. One undergrad, she interned for me during her undergraduate. The other interned for me during graduate. And then we just had an intern leave to go be an adult. And she was a Roger Williams student, both undergrad and grad. So I'm a huge hirer of RWU folks. It's just so amazing to be able to come back and stay engaged and even do things like this where we can't be together in person, to stay connected. Like it always blows my mind when people, spend all this money to go to a college and then they kind of disappear and don't remain connected. Like you have no idea how much having that network that can not only benefit you, but also continue to benefit the students of the college, of the university.
Yeah, and I love that you mentioned that, Megan, because I think often alumni think about, oh, well, I can only donate my money. And certainly donations are important to the university, but you can also donate your time, donate your expertise. There's so many ways to get involved. And I think that's such an important reminder. So I love that you brought that up, because even just donating your time is so impactful for students.
Yeah, definitely. And it's so rewarding. Like it's great for students, but it's also great for me. And it keeps me connected. It reminds me why my degree is important and why it's important to continue to give back. So I can't recommend it enough. It's amazing.
I think we're just about at time. I'm wondering, Megan, do you have any final piece of advice if someone is watching this thinking, I'm going to go to Roger Williams University or I'm going to go to XYZ? What do you tell them?
Pick Roger Williams. You will love it. You will form meaningful relationships with so many other people. You will enjoy the smaller class sizes. And you have a waterfront view every single day. So I highly recommend.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'm sure you're so busy. And again, just a reminder to everyone, if you are an alum, certainly get involved. Contact the Roger Williams University Alumni Relations Office. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Reach out to a professor, as Megan said. Just connect with us so we can, continue to build that network.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.